Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the John Owen YouTube channel, sports, movies, and everything else. So, as always, I hope everyone is staying safe and social distancing and doing all that, flatten the curve, coronavirus. We're going to get through this. I promise everything is going to work out just fine. But let's just hop right into the video. Today is the day of the NFL draft. We finally get a live sporting event. I cannot tell you the last time that I was this excited for something that wasn't like a championship game or a championship game in a series, just because there's been absolutely nothing going on. I've watched reruns of old games and stuff. Like, I know the outcome and I still watch it just because there's absolutely nothing else on. And the NFL draft is always entertaining, but it's a live sporting event that we can react to in person for the first time, and I'm super pumped about it. And, the NFL draft is definitely the most popular out of all the major league drafts and stuff like that. There's people that get paid a lot of money just to be a draft analyst and whatnot. So basically what we're going to do is I'm going to talk about the strengths and weaknesses of this draft class, some superlatives, places to watch trades, some predictions, and then finally my mock drafts with trades and without trades. So let's get right into it. So, top players to watch. We definitely have Heisman Trophy winner Joe Burrow, who just came off the greatest single season a college football player has ever had. That's kind of undeniable. Tua, I don't know how to say his last name. No one knows how to say his last name. It's fun. It's fine. Tua, the quarterback from Alabama. Justin Herbert, quarterback, Oregon. Chase Young, defensive end, Ohio State. CeeDee Lamb, wide receiver, Oklahoma. Isaiah Simmons, linebacker, safety, defensive end, kicker or punter, receiver, Clemson. Jerry Jeudy, wide receiver out of Alabama. And then finally, Jeff Okudah, cornerback, Ohio State. Now, I think there are some linemen that are probably maybe some better prospects than some of these people. But who cares about linemen? No offense. Linemen aren't flashy picks. So as far as, the big fancy players that everyone cares about, I would say that these 8 are your top players to watch. So, strengths of this draft class. Let's start at quarterback, especially when compared to last year's class. No offense to Kyle Murray, Daniel Jones, Drew Lock, those guys, but I would take this group of Joe Burrow, Tua, Justin Herbert, and then throwing Jordan Love in there over those guys. Definitely think Burrow and Herbert are better prospects. I know Tua's got some injury concerns, but honestly, if the doctors say he's good, I'm all in on a left-handed Drew Brees. Sign me up. Another strength is offensive line, not necessarily deep, but at the very top, the top 4, Tristan Wirfs, Jedrick Wills, Mekhi Becton, Andrew Thomas. Those top 4 are really, really, really good, and they can all be anchors and totally worth a first-round pick. All those guys are top 15 talents. But by far and away, the strength of this class is the wide receivers. Maybe the deepest class ever. There's going to be 15 guys that are day one starters in this class. Highlights include CeeDee Lamb, Henry Ruggs, and Jerry Jeudy. I think those are definitely the top 3. I think personally Jerry Jeudy's the best, followed by CeeDee Lamb and then Henry Ruggs, but there are people that like CeeDee Lamb the most, Henry Ruggs the most. All 3 of them are definitely have a contention for that top title. So receiver, way deep, way good class. And on the flip side, we have weaknesses. So interior linemen, so outside of Derrick Brown and Javon Kinlaw, who are both, I would say, top half of the first-round prospects, it kind of falls off if you need interior lineman help. Marlon Davidson's probably the next closest one. I have him mocked in my first round, but not really particularly deep. And the top, there's only 2. So, it's kind of weird. And then safeties. We have Xavier McKinney, who's the highest graded safety, who's in the mid first round to early second round grade. So that's your best player at your position. You're not going to be particularly top heavy. I think it's a decently deep class. Depth wise, it's okay. It's average. You got guys like Grant DePlatte. I hope I said that right. And Ashton Davis. They're going to be capable players, but just not as deep as some other positions. But the biggest hole in this draft by far is tight end. There are no tight ends that are worth a first-round pick. I think the best out of all of them is Cole Kmet from Notre Dame, but I would not spend a first, maybe even not a second-round pick on tight ends in this draft class. So places to watch for trades, trades are always very interesting, some of the best parts of draft night. And just some places to watch, the Lions at 3, they're trying to trade down. The Dolphins at 5 and the Chargers at 6. One of them is going to trade up to get a quarterback, whether that's Tua or Herbert. One of them is going to trade up for whoever their guy is, just to make sure the other guy doesn't. Now, their guys might be different, so it may be relevant, but one of them is going to trade up to try to get their guy. The Panthers at 7, they've been kind of one of the hot teams to trade down, and and also throwing the 49ers at 13 and their 31st pick because, they have 2 first-round picks, but they don't have any picks until the 5th round, so they are definitely in contention to trade back. Some teams that are willing to trade up, maybe to that 7 spot in Carolina are the Broncos at 15. They're trying to get one of whoever their top receiver is, if they can get a package together, and then the Falcons are really hot on a corner. It's probably going to be C.J. Henderson, but if Jeff Okudah falls, I could definitely see them totally making the jump. And then the Patriots, they are always shifting and moving on draft day. And if they trade back, that'll fall into one of my predictions later, but I'll explain that later. All right, let's get into superlatives. So the safest pick, and what I mean by that is the most for sure pick that's going to happen is going to be Joe Burrow to the Bengals. I mean, the Bengals need a lot of help, but it's always going to start with a franchise quarterback, Heisman Trophy winner, greatest single season in college football history. He's from Ohio. It just makes a lot of sense. The best player in this draft class to me is Chase Young. 16.5 sacks, so many tackles. He's only going to get better. I know he didn't have any sacks over the last 3 games against, their best competition, but, you just go through rough stretches. And I think that, Ohio State is just cranking out pass rushers, the Bosa brothers and him, and I think he is better coming out and has more potential than those guys do. So all in on Chase Young. The utility player, what I mean by that is, definitely a versatile player, is Isaiah Simmons, like I said, on the top players to watch, linebacker, safety, edge, kicker, punter, not really, but he has played over 100 snaps at 5 different positions on defense, so whoever gets Isaiah Simmons is going to get a versatile player. Our swing player is Tua. What I mean by swing is he could potentially fall, and if he falls, that could trigger a lot of trades and stuff, so whatever happens to him, I don't think that's going to happen. But if he starts falling, then that could trigger a lot of other stuff like that, so he's our swing player. My sleeper is Michael Pittman Jr. from USC in a deep receiver class. I think he's getting overlooked, but he's tough, physical, catches the ball, has only gotten better every year. So I really like Michael Pittman Jr. And the biggest boomer bust is Jordan Love. Not that you could tell because that clearly says of, but the L's there, I promise. Anyways, Jordan Love has been getting Patrick Mahomes comparison because it's arm talent and stuff like that. But if he has to go somewhere day one and start, he is going to struggle. He's kind of more of a project, in my opinion, and a lot of other draft people. But I think that if he could maybe sit a year behind someone like Drew Brees with the Saints or Aaron Rodgers and the Packers, I think that he could come in after they leave and be absolutely awesome. So it really depends on landing spot. Obviously, that applies to all these picks, but really for Jordan Love. My favorite player, Justin Herbert. I will always have a soft spot for Oregon. They used to be my favorite team. Still one of my favorites. When they had Marcus Marion and all of them, cool uniforms. Junior high me was like, duh, that was an easy pick. That was everyone's favorite team. So after watching him in the Pac-12 championship game and the Rose Bowl, I absolutely fell in love with Justin Herbert. I think he's going to be a good starter in this league. So my top predictions for the draft. So here we go. I was going to do top 5, but I wanted to do reasonable but kind of not basic predictions, so we whittled it down to 4. The Chargers are going to trade up for Justin Herbert. And I would think that it makes sense that Miami could also trade up because they have a lot of draft capital. They have the position to do that. But I think if I'm the Chargers, I only have 7 picks. I have a very complete roster. I don't know if there's 7 players in this draft that can make and play on my team. So give up a few, get your franchise quarterback. I feel like the Chargers are in a more win now mode than the Dolphins. So if Tua has any injury concerns, you don't want to wait on that at all. And so I think a team like the Lions, makes a lot of sense. The Lions can trade back to 6. They can still get, either Derek Brown or Tristan Wirfs or whatever elite player they would get at 3 anyways. So I think it makes a lot of sense. The Jaguars or the Patriots will not take a quarterback. I think that these two teams coming in this year definitely have the most quarterback questions. I love the persona of Gardner Minshew, but he's not the answer. The Jaguars are tanking so bad. It's so obvious. They're trading everyone. They're getting everyone out. And then Jared Stidham, he's unproven. So I feel like the Patriots and the Jaguars are not going to take a quarterback this year, and they put themselves in a prime position to take a combination of Trevor Lawrence and Justin Fields in next year's draft. Next, we have the Saints will find a way to pick Jordan Love. Currently, the Saints do not have a succession plan for Drew Brees. Teddy Bridgewater walked, and I don't think Taysom Hill can be your franchise quarterback. I love his gadget style of play, but I feel like you need a legit quarterback. So if I'm the Saints, I don't have that many holes. Maybe I could add a receiver and a corner, but the corner depth is good enough to where you could wait till the second round. The receiver depth is definitely good enough for you to wait that long. So I think in the first round, you take Jordan Love. I don't think they're going to trade up for him per se because they only have like 5 picks. So I think that they're going to take Jordan Love at some way. They're going to find a way. And then the most drafted position is going to be wide receiver. Like I already talked about, the depth of this draft class is absolutely insane. You have CeeDee Lamb, Henry Ruggs, Jerry Jeudy, Brandon Ayuk, Justin Jefferson, and Denzel Williams. I have all of them mocked in my first round. I can see guys like T. Higgins and the guy from Colorado also sneak into the first round. So, but even if they're not the most drafted position in the first round, I think overall through the entire draft, they're going to be the most drafted position. So now we're going to have my mock drafts. I'm going to click away, get my face off of here, so then you can actually see the whole mock. So basically what you're going to do is just pause, look at the whole mock. So this is my one with no trades, and this is my one with trades, since we all know that trades completely shake up everything. All right, now that you looked at that, that concludes the video. First off, thank you for taking time out of your day to watch the video. Make sure to follow me on Instagram and Twitter. Subscribe to the channel, like this video, and turn on your notifications so you never miss out on any of the fun. Also, lastly, just make sure to leave your predictions for the draft below because I love to hear what you guys have to say. Thanks for watching.